I mean, people who do it on their own, I have immense respect for, right? So what we did as a team is we take different roles, and different people have different strengths. So coming out of iBanking or consulting, you think you can do anything, right? You really believe you can do anything, and I still believe that you can do anything for a day, maybe for a week, for a month. After that, you just don't want to do it anymore. So you've got to actually find spaces that fit your natural tendencies. And the thing is, though, that kind of very early stage, you need certain natural tendencies. Okay, so you need to be able to I can maybe create the mirage on the horizon and kind of solidify that and make that something that people can see, and then we can work towards that thing. Other people are great at taking the business from 0 to 100 people and putting in place the infrastructure that will support that, and then kind of hate it, right? Okay, because 100 people is a lot of people. Okay, and maybe that's not why you were in business and wanted to start a business in the first place. And then there are people who are great at taking that business from 100 to 300 people, and then there are people who are super at managing corporates, right? Yeah, so I can't think of anything worse than managing a corporate, and we've grown into a corporate, right? But there are people who that's what they do, right? So at different stages of the organization, you actually need the different type of strengths and capabilities that fit that stage, but very early stage. So people starting out, you have to have passion. If you don't have passion, you're done for, right? And passion is going to take you through everybody telling you insane at some point. At some point, you're going to think, I could earn so much more going to work for somebody else, doing something really arbitrary. Okay, I don't have to worry about where people's salaries are coming from. And people never seem to worry about that kind of thing themselves, but you worry about it, and you use all these stresses, you can just take them away. And the question is, in the main, are you doing something you enjoy? Because at the end of the day, you spend no time on the top of a mountain. You spend all your time climbing it, right? So if you don't enjoy the journey, the top is not that. I mean, so we've been successful, and that's great. And it's certainly better than not being successful. Okay, so given the choice, it's better than not being successful. That being said, most of the time is spent building, and if you don't enjoy that, you can't actually sustain it. So you've got to enjoy that. You've got to surround yourself with people you like working with, because we all spend most of our life at work. And if you're surrounded by people that you don't, irrespective of skill, okay, if you're surrounded by people you don't like, you actually can't sustain it. So be passionate about whatever, right? Preferably choose something that actually has a good economic model, but you have to be passionate about it. I'd say if you're striving for success, try and choose something that's scalable, so that you can actually see a path to get large. If that's what excites you. And then surround yourself by people you enjoy working with, and then lastly, with competent people. One of the most interesting things for me was when our building burnt down. I would have to not interfere. Okay, so if I saw something was something I could improve, I had to not do anything about it. And I've grown this business. This business is my baby. I mean, I know every piece of it. I know how all the pieces work. I can see that maybe that computer should be set up over there or whatever it is. I know it would work better there, and I've got to stop myself. So in that moment, bizarrely enough, the building had just burnt down. The project had been handed over to Mohit, who was dealing with it awesomely, and the team was coming together, and everything was working, and we were going to survive. I went and had coffee, and I read my Kindle to stop myself from interfering. Okay, so bizarrely enough, one of the moments I'm most proud of is when I did nothing, and I sat and had coffee, and I read my Kindle, and people called me and would say, your business is burnt down, you must be going mad. I go, I'm sitting having coffee. I am going mad, but I can't interfere, because if I interfere, then people are going to panic, and they're going to worry, and they're going to, so bizarrely enough, one of the things that sticks in my mind is the moment I didn't do anything. After I did my piece, and then I did nothing. And that nothing piece was one of the hardest things I've ever done. Okay, so that's an example. But at other times you've got to get, if things were going wrong and things were going badly and things were falling over, then it would have been a different response. And doing nothing is the very bad idea in that particular situation. But that for me is one, you know, kind of, I don't know, is that leadership? I don't know. But it's getting out of the way when your people have direction. I mean, you can't help but lose some of it. But it's not appropriate, right? So you can't say we're not going to do it this way. We're going to do it that way tomorrow, and just throw everything that you built out and change stuff. And which you can do when you're small. You go, that's actually not as good as the new thing. Just chuck that piece away. You've got to. You don't get the opportunity to do that, and actually that causes real ripples in a scale organization. And what you start out building for flexibility and rapidity of change and ability to deal with rapid growth, and you start moving into a space where you start hiring people who are more stable and less open to change, and it starts gluing the organization into whatever framework that you have. And then you start ensuring that you have sufficient, call it disruptive forces. So I'm a disruptive force in our organization. People have nightmares when I wander around, right? Okay, because things will change. Okay, but you can't actually deal with too many people like that in an organization, because they are disruptive. They stop people from focusing on what they need to do today, tomorrow, and the next day. And only so much change can be managed. So we have a few people who are quite disruptive in the organization, and that's how we drive entrepreneurship. We also drive big project change by kind of externalizing it from the core business. So taking the core team that's going to be, call it entrepreneurial, or even thinking about a kind of a new business venture or a new opportunity as almost like a startup with kind of a real support, okay? Because you get the support of the infrastructure and the thinking and the processes and the IT and all that kind of stuff, but you get to operate kind of on your own. So we try and hive off things that we think may be special, and allow people to operate in that kind of startup mode. But you do lose some of that entrepreneurial change spirit within the organization, but it is necessary to strengthen the stability and the kind of incremental growth path as well. And there's a great book called The Hard Thing About Hard Things, and kind of he describes nice moments there about being an entrepreneur, and there are no answers. They're just tough moments, and you either make them through or you don't. But the biggest thing is kind of time and drudgery. You do a ton of stuff you're not going to enjoy. You get to build something yourself with people you like, and that's just a cool way to spend your time, right? So and you have to be happy with the way you spend your time. Sometimes the cool thing that you built is valued not just by you, but by lots of people, and then what you've got is a successful venture, right? But you don't have a successful venture unless you enjoy building the thing with the people you build it with. And you get the opportunity to do that, and almost nobody does. Most people get to do something, they build somebody else's business or environment, and they don't really see themselves as building part of it. They get to work with whoever kind of gets allocated into their environment. Sometimes nice people, sometimes not so nice people, but they don't get to have such control over their environment. They also don't get all the stress and all the other kind of stuff that comes with it. But you get to climb a mountain with people you like, and sometimes you make it to the top, and sometimes all you did was climb. Okay, but that's okay, because climbing is fun too. But it's not a right road for everybody. I don't think everybody should be an entrepreneur. I think it's soul destroying for people who it doesn't fit what they actually want or passionate about. And for those it fits, nothing else will fit.